Welcome everyone, my name is Francia. Today we're doing our gentle Sunday Vinyasa. So we're gonna welcome ourselves into the space. We're gonna allow a little moment of relaxation and softness as we stay in an upright seated position. The only props you might need for today are a set of blocks that we might use as we move into some of the standing asanas and standing sequences. So as we start in a comfortable seated posture, elevate the hips if you so wish, soften the shoulders, maybe close the eyes. Allow yourself a moment to ground and arrive onto your seat. The best way to do that is to start to notice and focus on your breathing. Notice and focus on the parts of your body making contact with the earth. Feel your spine rising up from your pelvis, elongating, lengthening up towards the sky as you relax the shoulders and let the arms kind of be heavy. As we come into awareness of body through the understanding of where we are seated and the room that we are in, as well as through the mindful awareness of our breathing, the deepening of the inhale, the slowing down of the exhale. We create a sacred space to offer our practice to. So if you so wish, you can set a sankalpa or an intention for your practice today. With the next inhale breath, we'll draw the palms together at the center of the heart. We'll inhale together for Om. Exhale completely, blink the eyes open. All right, so today we're going to start in a kneeling position. So let's come to kneeling. You can move your cushion out of the way if you were using it. As we come into a kneeling position, allow yourself a moment to, if you feel any tension or any strain in your knees, to kind of maybe place a blanket or something cushiony underneath your knees so that you don't feel that there's any difficulty to be on your knees. So that's the first thing, because we're going to be here for a little bit. We're going to do a couple of kneeling things. And then we're going to start placing the hands underneath the shoulders. So we're really kind of stacking ourselves up here. And then from this position, let's roll the weight forward onto the fingertips as we inhale. And then as we exhale, let's move the weight back towards the heels. Kind of keeping your hands glued. Don't let your hands slide back towards your body or reach away from you. Keep them right where you had them before. So then again, inhale to move the weight forward, shoulders back. Start to feel a little bit in your tricep muscles maybe. And then exhale, move it back. All the way back, but keeping your hands glued. And maybe your hips can settle down. If that happens, that's fine, but keep your arms engaged. One more time. Inhale, moving forward. Definitely feeling it in your wrists. Warming up the wrist today. Exhale, move it back. Nice and slow. Shoulders engaged, separating, and heels all the way down. All right, then inhale, come back through to center. And we're going to bring the knees together to touch. Extend that right leg, toes down, and press the heel back in the right leg. So we're pushing the right heel down towards the mat. As you hold here, keep your right hand rooted and reach the left arm forward. So you can stay here if you like, or you can try to find balance. So as we find balance, we got to tilt the weight forward into the fingertips, just like we did before, and then reach the right toes up, find balance here. Take a nice deep inhale. A slow exhale, keep reaching, lengthening, extending. Inhale again. And then exhale, release the foot, release the hand, and again, press back through that heel, stretching into the right calf. Now, keeping both hands down, inhale, bring your weight forward. Lift your right leg. This time, let's bend the knee and point the toe straight up towards the ceiling. So a little bit of core work, a little bit of glute work. The leg's going to want to drop down. Don't let it. Keep reaching, keep extending. And then let's lift the chest, shoulders back, almost like you want that toe to touch the ceiling and the top of your head to reach in the same direction. And then exhale, release. Bring it down. Keep the knees together. Sit back into Balasana. Reach the arms forward, forehead down. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Next inhale, slowly roll back up. Tabletop position, the other side. So separate the knees hip width. Left leg goes back. Push that left heel back. You want to feel this in your calf and the back of your left leg. Try not to sink through your shoulders, but push into your shoulder blades so that you can protract the shoulders. Keep your arms nice and engaged the entire time. Now, as we find balance here, we're going to tilt it forward a little bit. We're going to reach the right arm. Oh, sorry. Yeah, the right arm. The right arm comes forward. You're reaching through the fingertips. And if you want to try to find balance, then you're going to lean yourself forward slightly. Lift that left leg. Good. Very nice. And then that left leg extends, right arm extends. You can look down to the floor, reach and lengthen, warming up the body with these static stretches, static holding as you breathe. Inhale. Exhale completely. Keep lengthening, keep reaching. One more breath. Inhale. And then exhale. Let's drop the right hand and the left leg. Bring the knees together this time. And then now just the left leg comes up. But this time we're going to bend that left knee. And then we're going to reach that left toe up towards the ceiling. So we don't want to open the hip, but we want to keep that left hip closed. Just reach up, so engaging into the glutes. And then here you can lift the chest, shoulders back, becomes a little bit of a back bend. Keep engaging into that left leg. Try not to go too hard, you don't want to cramp up, but you want to feel a sense of up, 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 through the top of the head, through the toe. And then exhale, let's release it down. Good, and sit back. Take Balasana one more time. Reach, lengthen, soften. Breathe here. 1. Slow breath out. 2. And then inhale, coming back up to tabletop. All right, moving now into the spine. Now that we've kind of engaged the legs a little bit, let's separate the knees. Inhale, open up the chest, lift the tailbone, shoulders go back. We're going into a cow pose. Open up. Here, we're going to hold this cow pose. We'll add some movement in a moment. As you push into the floor with your fingers and knuckles, try not to let all of your weight bear down into your wrist. And then exhale, curl it under. Tuck the tailbone under, tuck the chin to the chest. Separate your shoulder blades, really stretch out into your middle back. Pushing the floor away with the tops of your feet and the palms of your hands. And then inhale back all the way up into cow. Now, this time as we hold the cow, feel free to tilt a little back, a little forward. This gentle movement of back and forth in cow pose helps to soften the muscles around the spine so that we don't feel like we're holding and tensing, but instead we're holding with a sense of strength and then allowing the flexibility that we do have to increase very gently. And then finding our way back to center. Exhale, curl it under. As you curl under, same thing, push the floor away, press the tops of the feet, and then slowly move back towards the hips, forward towards the fingers. Again, this gentle movement triggers softness. It triggers the parasympathetic nervous system, lets us know this is good, we're okay, we can move. And of course, you're still breathing as you do these movements. And then making your way back to center, stay for a moment, and slowly we release. Bring the heels, the big toes together, open up the knees. This time, Balasana with the knees pretty wide. Just let your body slide forward. Maybe your forehead can rest, or your chin. Allow yourself to just find a little sense of long extension in the side body and in the spine. Breathing deeply, inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. And I'm going to lift the head, walk the hands as far to the right as you can, reach them and extend them. Maybe try to get that left side of your chest to rest onto that right thigh, and then let your head kind of come to the inside of that right leg. So your left arm is reaching, your right elbow can be bent, and use it almost like leverage to find a deeper side stretch here. Press the left hip down, the belly's relaxed, no tension there. Find a stretch in your left shoulder. Keep your left palm and right palm down. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Inhale, we lift the head, walk the hands back through the center. Allow yourself a moment to reach here. I like to keep my chin forward so that I can really feel that sense of extension. And then let's walk the other way. So we walk that right arm as far as you can. You're going to try to settle your chest over your left thigh and then your forehead right in front of the knee. Your right arm is kind of glued. This is where we want to feel that stretch. And your left elbow can bend, using that left arm and left shoulder as a little twerk, a little allowing yourself to kind of pull a little deeper into your side stretch. So it's not really a twist. It's more of a side stretch, the right side body. The right hip pulls down, both palms are flat, forehead is on the mat or on the knee. Steady, calm breathing. Feel the stretch through the skin of that right side body from the right waistline all the way to the right pinky toe or pinky finger. And then inhale. Exhale completely. Inhale, lift the head, bring both hands forward, and once more, reach, lengthen, stretch. Maybe the chin can come down, and slowly lift up, and coming back onto hands and knees. All right, one more thing we're going to do here with hands and knees. We're going to do a down puppy. So walk your knees back a little bit. Knees can be together or slightly apart. We're going to lift the chest, and we're going to walk our hands forward. So imagine you want to keep your hips over your knees, walking your hands forward, hands forward, hands forward. Maybe rest the top of the head onto the mat. So the top of the head is probably the most accessible way to do this posture, but it can feel quite intense in your shoulders. So allow your shoulders to get a little movement here. Again, that gentle movement of up and down or flapping of the shoulders triggers the parasympathetic nervous system so that your body is not triggered into fight or flight. You want the opposite. You want softness. So gentle movement offers us that. The belly is drawn in. There's a long extended spine. And if you feel comfortable, you can kind of drop your elbows, lift your chest, and maybe slide yourself a little lower. Maybe the chin can come to the mat. And just find extension here. We won't be here very long, so just find whatever position feels good for you. You can always go back to forehead down. Deep breath in. Slow, easy breath out. And then we're going to press into our forearms, bring our weight forward, slide our hips down, and now we'll take Sphinx pose. So in Sphinx pose, your elbows are right underneath your shoulders, palms flat down on the mat. Kind of wriggle your hips, get yourself situated into your pelvis. Your feet are apart, but not really wide. Kind of keep them parallel to each other. Relax a little bit into your legs and glutes, but keep the legs nice and active. So we don't have to squeeze like our body, like their legs depend on it, but you can just find yourself pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. And then once you're there, inhale, lift your chest, and imagine you want to slide your hands in towards your body. They probably won't move, but there's this activation that happens when you bring your elbows towards your body. Shoulders back, and we're just going to gaze forward. Tops of the feet are down, big toes are down, so don't let your feet flop out. Flop out to the sides. You want to keep the tops of the feet down nice and engaged. We'll stay here another breath. You can also tuck your toes under and kind of activate your legs a little bit more. That feels nice. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. With the next inhale, let's maybe press into the hands a little bit. Maybe straightening the arms a little bit. Doesn't have to straighten all the way, just a soft kind of lift to feel your maximum, where your maximum back bend lives. You want to feel this in your middle back, not in your lower back at the sacrum, and your shoulders want to relax back and down. And then exhale, open your elbows, come all the way down, turn your head to one side and just kind of wiggle the hips and release any tension we might have built up in the lower body, in the back body. Even in your heart, as you feel the heart opening of that back bending can be a little intense sometimes. Good. So we're just going to repeat that one more time. Only difference now is we're going to add a little bit of legs. So find your Sphinx pose once more. Elbows underneath the shoulders. Kind of find the position, lifting through the chest, shoulders rolling back. You're engaging. You're like almost trying to slide yourself forward. It's a very minute movement, but it makes all the difference. Bend your knees and point your toes up towards the ceiling, just like we did in the warm-up. Now from here, lift your chest, shoulders roll back, keep your legs active. So nice activated legs, toes pointed, and then inhale, press into the arms. They may or may not straighten, no worries. So a little bit different, finding a little bit more awareness into the front part of our body, so our quadriceps, the front of our hips, our hip flexors, but still deep engagement into that middle back, finding our back bend position here. Keep kicking the toes up, and then exhale, release, elbows down, open your elbows, turn your head the other direction, and once more, wiggle around those hips. Allow your breath to regulate itself. Nice deep inhale, slow, gentle exhale. Beautiful. All right, we're going to make our way up to a downward facing dog. Best way to do this is come into a position like almost like you're all the way down on the floor, like you're ready to do cobra. But we're going to tuck our toes under. And as we tuck our toes under, engage your legs, lift your chest, so like it's cobra with the toes tucked under. Now find if you have a little bit more lift, and then you can come all the way up. Toes are tucked under, now like in our upward facing dog. Lift and elevate your hips and come into a high plank. So finding yourself in your high plank, press your heels back, shoulders engaged, and then exhale, roll the hips back, walk your feet in, and let's pedal out this downward facing. The first downward facing dog of the day tends to feel or tends to bring up all the sensations within the body. So again, relaxing the system and activating your parasympathetic nervous system by adding movement. Gentle movement through the knees, the weight distribution, the side to side. Each day will be slightly different for each of us. So allow yourself to be the one that is existing within your own body. When you're done with the movement, if you're done, you don't have to, you can keep moving. Then see if you can find a little bit of stillness. Moving the rib cage towards the thighs, separating the shoulder blades away from each other. You're gazing towards your upper thighs or in the direction of your navel. Your quadriceps are engaged, your kneecaps are lifting. And we're just kind of finding our nice extension here. This pose is basically one pose fits all, in the sense that you're getting all the different big muscles of the body to activate, to stretch, to lengthen, and to start to warm up. With the next inhale, we're going to look forward. We're going to walk our hands towards our feet. So we're going to the back of our mats. Soften your knees and let your body hang here. So a hanging forward fold. We love to do this, at least I do, almost every day. It's such a gentle way for us to let go of tension. Now, if you're new to the practice of asana, perhaps this does not feel like you're letting go of tension at all. It could feel like you're all the way up here and you're holding a lot of tension. So what I would suggest is you softly bend through your knees, almost like you're trying to sit down into a chair. Let your upper body rest on your thighs and then stay there. As you start to develop the flexibility, your hips can start to rise. So really try to find that your upper body, your torso, and your lower body, your thighs, your legs, are connected. And then once you're there, the straightening of the legs, that's just optional. That's just if you want to and if you're ready. And the legs may or may not straighten all the way. Mine still have a nice bend in the knee. It feels good. I still feel that deep stretch in the back of my legs into my hamstrings. So that's all we really need. Let's hold one more breath. Exhale completely. And then release the arms. Inhale, walk your hands forward back to your downward facing dog and see if you can notice a difference. See if you can notice a difference not just in your legs, which perhaps you might feel a big difference here, but also in your arms and in the distribution of your weight. So equal weight on the right and left side, equal weight on the palms and feet. So we're not taking, if your down dog is too short, you're putting too much weight in your feet. If your down dog is too long, you're putting way too much weight in your hands. So you want to find a nice even space here between your hands and your feet that you can really equalize the weight distribution. Let's hold one more breath. Inhale. With or without movement. Again, always your choice. Exhale. And now inhale, let's look forward, walk or step your feet forward, coming all the way to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift halfway, shoulders back, belly drawn in. Exhale, fold and release. And then inhale, let's rise up. Palms up, gazing up towards the sky, looking up. And then exhale, arms by your side. Good. All right, so have your blocks. We're going to place one on either side of our feet. And we're going to make them at the lowest position right now. That might change. Sorry, Zena's in a bad spot, but hopefully you guys can still see. I don't want to move her. You know, she's an old dog. Okay, so once you have your blocks set up, we're going to use them through our sun salutation, through our next flow. So as she heard me, she's laying down. All right, as we inhale, let's lift the arms up, slightly forward, palms up, and then we look up towards the thumbs, and we find that long extension. See if you can root down through the soles of your feet as you reach your fingertips towards the sky. Soften your shoulders and lift your chest. Ground down through your legs. Stay firm through the trunk of your body. And then exhale, bend your elbows, bend your knees, and gently bring your hands to the blocks. So the blocks should be lined up with your toes. Once the hands are on the blocks, see if you can have them flat. If you need to make them a little higher, don't go any higher than this middle section. So not all the way up here, because that's going to be very unstable when we do the other stuff. So either lowest or middle section. And then let the head relax, let the shoulders soften. Even if you can bring your hands to the floor, let's use the blocks for today. And then slowly start to tilt your weight forward so you can bring your hips over your ankles. You start to feel how that activates the backs of your legs. Let the head relax completely. Now inhale, press into your blocks, lift your chest, roll your shoulders back, and chin up or forward. Now you're really trying to straighten through your legs. So try to contract your quadricep, lift your kneecaps, and you can come all the way to your fingertips if you like, or you can try to press down through the fingers and the top part of your palms. Now, as we exhale, let's bend the knees, walk 1 foot back, take a big step back, kind of settle yourself there, press into your arms, and then step the other foot back. Now we're in a high plank position. We're going to hold this high plank position because it builds strength, it builds endurance, and it allows us to really find what makes us tick, what makes us feel grounded. So not easy to do, sometimes very difficult. If you find yourself dropping into your hips like this, elevate them, tuck under through the pelvis, engage your core, and find strength here. Now exhale, bring the knees down, and we're going to drop our hips back, take a child's pose. So notice in this gentle flow that we do on Sundays, just because it's gentle doesn't mean we don't do things that are difficult. It's gentle because we are being very aware and very connected to the sensations of our bodies as we move. So we do something really difficult and we follow it up by a way to release it and relax it. So just observe that the flow of our practice kind of moves in that way, a challenge and then a softness. And see if you can find that same challenge and softness as you move through the rest of the flow. Now inhale, lift your chest, look forward, come back to tabletop, tuck your toes under, and then let's all take a downward facing with the hands on the blocks. So hopefully your blocks don't slide forward. You do want to have them nice and rooted. As you press your chest back, you have all this extra space. So kind of walk your feet, slide them parallel to each other, moving them back, wrapping the shoulders around the body. And then inhale, look forward, step the right foot forward, big step. As the right foot steps forward, maybe you lunge that left leg back. We're going to find a lunge. So we're going to keep our hands on the blocks for now as we find the lunge. Lift the chest, shoulders back. Now here at this point, if you find you need a little bit more support, let's say, or a little bit more height away from the leg, you can bring the blocks to that tower position, the taller position. Feels a little nicer, a little bit more, accessible within the body. So try it. You can also go to that middle section too as well. Just find length in your spine as you drop the hips down. So you don't want to have the hips way up here. Drop the hips down. Good job. Shoulders back, find breath. I like this position. Gives me a little bit more space. Opening through the chest. The left leg is nice and strong. No bend in the left knee. Right knee is bending. 90-degree angle. Lifting and opening through the heart. And then now exhale, drop that left knee down. Release the toe. And we find this lunge now in the kneeling position. Same thing. Your hips going to want to move back. Move them forward, 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 forward. And then you can slide the blocks a little back so that the blocks are closer to maybe your body or your hips. So once you're there, maybe fingertips can come on the block. Maybe you can walk that front foot forward to give yourself a little bit more room. Shoulders back, lift your chest. You can always have your palms down too. So just be here for a couple of breaths, notice and observe. If you feel like you can balance, you don't need the blocks. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale there. Keep dropping those hips. Inhale again to lengthen. And then exhale, hands back down. And we're going to move our hips back, straighten that right leg, half split, bringing our chest down, shoulders back. Here I like to kind of maybe settle my forearms onto the blocks. Find your stretch here. Doesn't have to be super deep, just be wherever it needs to be, just to release the leg. And then hands back on the blocks, lift the chest, slide that right leg forward. See what happens. You can walk those blocks a little bit more forward if you need to. Maybe tuck the left leg back, slide it back. See what happens. See where you are. Your hands are nice and rooted onto the blocks. Position them wherever you need them to be so that you're comfortable, and try to let your hips come down. So we're working on here, maybe one day doing a little split position. So as we hold, you breathe, your right foot is flexed, or you can point the toe too. That gives you a different type of engagement. Your left knee is still down on the mat, and we're relaxing the hips down towards the mat. One more breath, inhale. Exhale, let's go ahead and press into the block, slide that right foot forward, bring it back. Take a moment here, flatten out your blocks, place your hands on the blocks, tuck the toes under, and exhale, downward facing. Back to our downward facing dog, using the blocks, give us a little bit of height, a little bit of space. Let go and observe how that left side and right side feel. We're going to repeat it all on the left side now. So inhale, look forward. Left foot plants down, right leg kind of walks back a little bit. And again, you can have your blocks at this lowest level, at that middle level by just tilting it, or my favorite, because it gives you so much space, feels much nicer in the body, that higher level. And remember, you want to have that left knee bent at a 90-degree angle. So if your knee is not at a 90-degree angle, bring it forward and make sure it doesn't shoot past your toes. So you want that knee right over your ankle. You want your right leg straight. You want to drop your hips. You want to lift your chest. And again, you can position these blocks wherever your body needs them to be to find that support that you need. Shoulders back, chest lifted, and keep dropping the hips down. Keep that right leg nice and engaged, pressing back to the right heel. As we find these lunges, as we start to connect with these lunges, it really starts to awaken the legs, warm up the body. So now we're going to drop that right knee down, release that right foot, and then we're going to drop the hips down. And I know that for some of us, this movement of dropping the hips down might be minuscule. It might not look like you're doing much. But what you want to avoid is bringing weight onto that back leg. So you really want to bring the weight forward onto your front heel. So your left heel is what's taking your weight, and your hips are moving forward and down towards that heel. Now, if you don't need the blocks, you can always just lift your chest, maybe come to your fingertips. You can slide those blocks back a little bit more as you open your heart, or you can lift your arms. Lifting your arms really makes you aware of what's going on with your legs. Your legs are holding all of your weight here. You're trying to drop those hips, trying to lift through the rib cage and chest. And then exhale, let's bring the hands down towards the left leg or the blocks, and then slide that left hip back, straighten the foot, and then exhale, fold into a half split. So again, maybe resting your forearms on the blocks, or you can lower the blocks too. That's another possibility. I like to keep the left foot flexed when I do this, just because I'm trying to find stretch in the back of that left leg. So flexing it will target that. But if you start to cramp up or you need to, you can always point. So always options. Even if there's an option that I don't give necessarily, you can always try that too. Just move within your own awareness of body. All right, now we're gonna go for the split. So we're gonna bring our hands to the block. We're gonna slide that left leg forward, slide that left leg forward, maybe tuck the toe back and move that right leg back. And then you can kind of find yourself in a position. If you have a little bit more mobility on this side, the blocks are easier for me if I bring them down. That way I can still keep my arms engaged, nice and locked in place. Eventually, maybe one day you don't need the blocks. You can decide. You can have your left foot flexed or you can point your left foot. Try to straighten through both legs. Find stability here. Breathe. Lift your chest. Smile because you might be close to doing the splits or maybe not. Who cares? You're still a beautiful person. Now, as you exhale, let's start to slide it back. So push into your hand, slide the left leg back. Bring that left leg all the way back. Flatten out your blocks in front of you. Hands on the blocks, tuck the toes under, lift the hips and downward facing dog once more. Settle in. Deep breath in, slow breath out. One more breath. And then inhale, look forward between the hands. Step or walk your feet forward. Lift and lengthen shoulders back. Exhale, fold and release. Hips over your ankles if possible. Ground through your feet. Inhale, arms up, body up, everything up. Reach the chest, palms together, gazing at thumbs, shoulders back and down. Exhale, arms by your side. Good. Second sequence, we're going to do something similar, but we're going to add some back bending and some twisting. So again, inhale, arms up, palms together, gazing at thumbs. Exhale, we fold, hands on the blocks, head relaxes, shoulders back, elbows back, roll the weight forward to the big toes. Inhale, lift halfway, open the chest, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, step, one foot back, big step, other foot back, big step. Find your high plank, just like we did in the first sequence. Engage into your shoulders, draw in through your navel. Strong legs, don't sink your hips, keep them up. Tuck under, good. And then exhale, drop the knees. Take Balasana, rest here for a moment. Your knees can be together or apart. Your head can just hang with the hands on the blocks. It's hard for the head to come to the mat. If it does, great. If it doesn't, it's okay. No harm, no foul. Just let the neck muscles relax. And then inhale, lift the head. Bring your weight forward. Tuck your toes under. And downward facing dog. All right, from downward facing dog, let's bring the right foot forward between the blocks. And then we're going to bring that left leg back. Stay in each one as long as we did before. We're just going to move right through it. Exhale, drop the left knee down, release the left toes. Find balance here on your fingertips. You can also move your blocks up, or if you don't need, inhale, arms up. Let's add a little back bend here. So as you move your hips forward, lift your chest and open your shoulders back. Opening into the back bend. Feel similar to what we did on the floor in the beginning. Opening the chest, reaching the arms up, hips forward and down, and then exhale, hands come down. All right, this is our twist here we're going to do. So we'll do an open twist first. Keep the right hand on the mat, on the block, open the left side. Open twist, very nice, very gentle in the body. Not much going on as far as the opening. Just found yourself reaching that left fingertip up as you keep dropping the hips. Closed twist now as we bring the left hand down. Let's do right hand on the thigh, left elbow outside of that right knee. Try to get your torso to go as much to the right as possible. Bring your hands into prayer as you move your torso over to the right. Another option here is to let your left hand rest on the block and then take your right arm up and over. Remember, we're on our left knee, so you really should be feeling like you're balanced and you're secure. Now, as we exhale, bring everything back to center. Right hand down, undo your twist, lift your chest, shoulders back, and then one more time, let's go for that split. Right leg extends forward, left leg reaches back. Maybe those blocks need to slide back a little bit. You can always make them taller, remember, like we did in the first set. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, drop down through the hips. One more time, deep breath in. Slow breath out. Press into your hands, slide your left knee in, slide your right heel back, and then take a half split just to release. Let it go. Again, you can let your forearms rest. You can bring your weight a little bit more forward to get a little bit more stretch into that right leg. And then hands on the blocks, right foot back. Inhale, exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe here. Preparing for the other side. Let yourself be aware. Moving through each version of the asana with your own limitations in mind, but also kind of giving yourself the opportunity to try something new, even if you don't think you can do it. All right, inhale, step the left foot forward between the hands. Find your high lunge first. So again, we're not going to be here long, so lifting the blocks is an option, but we're not going to be here very long. So if you want to stay with the blocks down, because it's just easier to just keep them in that space. And then right knee comes down. We release the foot. You can, again, use the blocks to support you. You can come to your fingertips, or you can just find a lift. Now, if you want to stay in the upright position, that's fine. Otherwise, try to go for the back bend. Lift your chest, shoulders back, reach your arms, hips forward and down. Open your heart. Take your back bend, however deep or not so deep, does not matter. Find what feels good in your own body. And exhale. Bring everything back down, hands down. All right, going for the open twist now. Left hand stays on the block, right arm opens out. We gaze out towards right fingertips or right to the side. So you want to keep reaching that right arm up, the open twist, creating rotation outside of the body, and then slowly release. Right hand down, and now we're going to go for the internal twist. So left hand on your side helps support you and kind of move your rib cage over. Right elbow outside of that left knee. Wiggle it into place. First position, hands in prayer, and then slide your prayer closer to your chest as you look back over your left elbow. So you're welcome to stay here or bring that right hand down to the block that's right in front of you. Once the hand is down, extend the other arm and find your position. You can be in either one. It does not matter. Exhale. Release that left arm. Release your twist. Come back to center, and then we're going to try for that split. Flex the left foot. Slide that left foot forward. Forward, forward. Maybe that right knee back a little bit. Maybe the blocks move. And we find our split. And your split may be really high up. Your split may be all the way on the floor. However it is, exactly what it's meant to be doing. So don't judge. Just experience, enjoy, and be in whatever version of this feels good in you. Now, as we exhale, I'm going to press into the hands, slide that left heel in, slide that right knee in, and then let's take our half split. Either pointing or flexing to the foot, and you can rest your forearms on the blocks if that's available. Settling in. One more breath. Exhale completely. Inhale, hands back on the block, lift the chest. Slide your left foot back. Tuck both toes under. And again, downward facing dog. Notice we kind of always come back to this. Downward facing dog is the palate cleanser, let's say. Evening both sides and kind of finding that full body stretch. From here, we'll bring the knees down to the mat. And you can have the knees together or slightly apart. And you can kind of bring the blocks underneath you so that you can rest your chest or your torso onto the blocks. Maybe your chin can rest at the edge, or you can turn your head, almost use it like you would a bolster. It's an option to use too when we do our Monday evening class, if you don't have a bolster, you can stack your blocks like this. You can put a blanket on top, make it really nice. So then make sure that your weight is nice and resting on top of the blocks. If your head is one side, turn it to the other side to even out the stretch in your neck. And let yourself relax. Let all of it go. Preparing for the climb down of our mountain. We're winding down. One more breath. Exhale completely. Chin can come to the block or to the front. And we're going to press into the hands, lift ourselves up. All right, place your blocks again on either side. Bring your knees in. We're going to do a lolasana. We're going to turn this lolasana into a jump through. So with the hands on the blocks, again, the earth is a little higher. It gives you some space. So lolasana, place your hands on the block, lift your knees, keep your toes down, but find engagement in your shoulders. So have little to no weight on the tops of your feet. Find your strength here, and then exhale, lower down. So as we're prepared to do our jump through, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to lift up. Because we don't have weight on our feet, we're going to be able to cross them and slide them through. So this time we'll try that. Inhale, everything up. Cross your feet so that one foot is in front of the other. You're crossing your feet at the ankles. And then we're going to slide the feet through as the legs extend, flex the feet, and then exhale, sit down between the blocks. Once you're down, move the blocks off to the side. If you did it, yay. If it kind of worked, yay. If you had to do something completely different, yay. Doesn't really matter. Let's take Dandasana. But the goal here as we move through our practice is to attempt it, to try, and then to have faith that at some point our bodies will have the strength, the flexibility, and the mobility to do all of these things. And that's really not even the end goal. But what are you learning along the way? Are you patient with yourself as you move through these difficult asanas? Are you finding a sense of inner strength that connects you to the practice? One more breath here. And then exhale, let's release. Grab yourself a block. We're going to do our Viparita Karani, our legs up the wall. And we're going to do it with the block under the sacrum. So your block is going to go at its flattest level, its lowest level. Lift the hips like a bridge and place the block at the sacrum. So not high up by the waist and not down by the glutes. And then once the block is in position, you're going to find the shoulders are relaxed, your hips are nice and supported by the block. And then let's take the legs up. So Viparita Karani, especially after the splits that we did and the lunges, a really nice way to release the tension in the legs. We're going to make it a little different today. So open your arms so that they are kind of like Shavasana arms, but a little wider, maybe almost like a T. And then we're going to open our legs out like a V. Point the toes, engage the legs, contract the quadriceps, and see if you can hold. If you need help, you can place your hands at your outer thighs to help support some of the weight. So you want to make sure that your inner thighs and your groin aren't overdoing it. And then hold there, breathe easy. And we're going to start to kind of helicopter the legs. So your right leg's going to move down and away as your left leg moves forward and up. And then you kind of find a little twist here and then reverse, go the other way. So we're going very slow and very controlled. The left leg now moves forward as the right leg moves up. We kind of twist a little bit and then we reverse. So go at your own pace. Maybe we do, I don't know, 3 sets. So 3 on each side. And you can go nice and slow like I'm going. You can go a lot faster if you like. Then you might do 6 or 7 sets if you're going a lot faster. But this is my last third set. See if you're, make sure that you're even on both sides. So whatever you do in one direction, you want to do in the other direction. And this is a really great way to kind of find that awareness of the hips. Once you're done with the third set, come back into that V split. The shoulders are back and down. The chest is relaxed. And then using either the strength of your legs or your arms, inhale to bring your legs back up to center. Good. Once your legs are up, relax your feet, flex and point, wiggle around through the ankle, soften your knees, find yourself a little bit more relaxed. All right, one more thing before we take our Shavasana. Your right leg's going to come up over your head, and your left leg is going to reach away from you. So if you have the ability to maybe grab your calf or your ankle, try, and then see if you can keep that left leg engaged. So don't bend the knee to plant the foot on the floor. Keep that leg floating and engaged. If the leg comes down, that means you're flexible. That's good. Then you can bring that leg all the way down. But if it's floating over the air, that's fine because you're trying to find the flexibility in the legs. Same as in the splits. So we're reaching that right leg over the head. We're reaching that left leg out and away. We're breathing. Both shoulders are down. And then slowly release the right leg, lift the left leg, and then let's just reverse sides right away. Right leg down, left leg back, pointing through the toes, reaching and stretching, extending, lengthening, left leg straight, right leg straight. Move that leg towards the body. Easy breathing. And exhale, slowly release. Both legs up, flex the feet, point the toes, readjust yourself if you need to. Viparita Karani, or topsy-turvy pose. Settle into what you find, breathe gently, and then slowly drop the feet down all the way to the mat. Once the feet are down, take a moment in this supported kind of half bridge. Maybe you don't feel a whole lot of movement happening here, but that's okay. Let yourself be here for a breath or two. And then we're going to go ahead and start to slide the legs away. And then as we inhale, we'll move the arms up overhead, lengthening the body. I like to start by flexing my feet and press the calves down. But once that kind of alignment happens, then I can point the toes. So just decide how you want to get into it. The shoulders move away from the ears, and we just breathe, and we're just here with what we find, with all of our experiences. That our experiences might create and help create our personality and who we see ourselves as. They don't have to define us. Apply yourself a clean slate here as you hold, to kind of incorporate any aspects that perhaps you feel you don't have within you, whatever they may be. Generosity, self-love, kindness, trust, intuition, whatever aspects you feel like you would be beneficial to incorporate into you as a person. If you can kind of bring those words and those ideas and thoughts into your psyche here as we hold. And with one more inhale breath, maybe one more reach. And then exhale, bend your elbows, bend your knees, lift your hips, move the block out of the way, lower your hips back down, and let's take Shavasana. Let the legs extend, palms facing up, shoulders relaxed. Maybe move the head side to side a little bit to release any tension in the neck before you settle in. Notice if your chest is still kind of poofed up from being in that back bend. Let press the middle back down, the lower back down, and then relax the shoulders. So really feel yourself kind of softening, flattening out here, taking shape of the floor below you, melting into your mat, if you will. Continue to relax the muscles, the tendons, ligaments of the body. Start to bring awareness back to the space that you are in. And then begin to add gentle movement to the fingers and the toes, the hands, feet, wrists, and ankles, the forearms, the lower legs, the knees, and the elbows can bend. And maybe take a nice constructive breath, separating the feet, knees in towards each other, right hand at the belly, left hand at the heart. Then we'll open the knees, bring the knees into the chest, give yourself a nice squeeze, a nice hug, maybe circle around to lower back massage. And finally, we'll maybe do a nice happy baby, knees apart, arms inside the legs, find the pinky edge side of your feet, lift your heels, find stillness or little gentle movement side to side. And then inhale, slowly coming back to center, little shoulders rolling back, little knees moving down towards the floor. And then exhale, drop the heels, extend the legs, full body stretch. As you breathe in deeply and then exhale, release, rolling over onto our side for a moment here. Just give yourself a little pillow with your bottom arm. I invite you to stay with your eyes closed, your attention focused inward. And as you inhale, pressing up into a seated position. You can use your cushion to bring underneath you once more. And we're just going to close up with a little pranayama, a little breathing exercise. Make sure that you have at least one layer on. So a shawl, a sweater, a blanket, something to put over yourself. It's not a good idea to do any pranayama with the skin exposed because it's very cooling in the body. So always cover up before you do any pranayama work. So let's just start with a 5-7 breath. Relax your hands on your knees, soften your shoulders, lengthen your spine. Inhale for 5. And exhale for 7. Inhale 5. Exhale 7. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Continue with that 5-7 ratio. Start to lose your focus, bring it back. Breathing in for 5 and breathing out for 7. Good. And once you're done with that last exhale for 7, just come back to your natural place of breath, not elongating or timing the breath, not manipulating the breath in any way, just your natural breathing. You may feel that it stays similar in that same ratio or close to it, and that's fine. You just come back to your natural pace of breath. And then as we inhale, we'll draw the palms together at the center of the heart, thumbs against the sternum. And we'll prepare to chant the sound Om together if you so wish, closing our practice, feeling all the benefits of our practice to better not only ourselves and our loved ones, but everyone that we come into contact with, everyone that might need a little extra love, attention, or anything really, anything that another person might need. Let's see if we can send out some love towards all that need it. Inhale for Om. Namaste.